She's nice and fresh, and we're ready to go.
In fact, we saw both Sock and Parenteau on court, both of them winning their singles matches pretty handily.
Pretty handily.
Both.
And then you got to make that shift from singles to mixed, which can be big. And we've got Yates Johnson on our court, which
one of the Johnson twins, both of them having played tennis at Southern Methodist University up in Dallas. Go Mustangs.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus there.
And Yates playing with Rachel Rettger. This pairing got a good win yesterday over Lena Padigamaita and Zane Navratil in the first round. And both teams kind of feeling each other out these first couple points. Like you said, Sock and Parenteau, as well as Yates, switching to mixed doubles mode after singles.
I think points pretty short so far. Nothing spectacular. Also kind of trying out things, seeing if they're going to work, seeing what their strategies and tactics might be for the rest of the match. Just that reach that Jack Sock had, it almost didn't even look like he moved to cut across that ball that was in front of Catherine. You feel that massive wind gust that most definitely probably affected Rachel Rettger's drop shot right there. It's one of those things that are tricky to come across. That wind picks up, and you have to adjust those shots as well.
And one team is off of 0 after what felt like a lot of points for both teams.
Forever.
On 0. But some love off the net for Yates Johnson.
And yeah, now we're seeing Yates kind of step in and take that ball. And what I do like is Yates kind of is letting Rachel take those drops. As sometimes in mix, the guy wants to take all those balls, but essentially by her taking those drops, it's going to allow Yates to get in a little bit quicker and create some opportunities like that.
Nice aggressive play there from Rettger.
And it looked like Catherine read that ball, and I was surprised she didn't counter that the first time it came. She went to block it instead.
And a nice run to start things off here for Johnson and Rettger. We'll see if Sock and Parenteau can get off 0 here.
I think, like you said, it's just getting in that rhythm again. And there it is right there. And that's some of the struggle if when you're crossing on that stack. If you're not ready for that, that's going to open up a lot of opportunities to drive or create it basically like a semi-drop shot that's catching her at her feet as she's coming in.
Like kind of like a hybrid, like drive drop.
Yes,
I feel like we hear a lot of different terms for
like
it.
I always tell my players, like especially my tennis players, your third shot drop is like a passing shot in tennis. It's an aggressive shot, but it's a less pace and more spin. It's purposeful. Whereas a lot of players just think about the drop shot getting them to the net. It's a very purposeful shot, and it can be very aggressive. I think there's like 2 types of drop shots, and we do see in a lot of the men's. I've seen Hunter hit a couple of them. It's the drop that you just kind of chip and get to the line, and then it's the kind of offensive topspin drop.
We saw one right there from Yates
So
Johnson.
it's not quite a drive, but that's the idea. It's get your opponent to hit up on the ball, and especially if they're moving like that, it's getting them caught at their feet. And that's a big swing. I think the only way she was going to win that is if she hit Catherine. That was pretty far out wide. But it's the right idea. Trying to put pressure early. And that's kind of more what I expect from Catherine is that counter shot. Especially she's giving herself a little bit of room between the non-volley zones, so she's got room to accelerate into that space.
And we see Yates Johnson can counter it too. He's like, hey, you can do it, Catherine. I can definitely do it too.
He's ready. And that's the thing is Jack Sock's got great reach with that forehand, but they're going to try to do something to stop it. Now he sees every time Jack is going to come in and take that, he's expecting that ball to come at him hard. Oh, three net cords at that point alone, but
I don't think we had enough. I think we need a few more.
Okay.
That's the story of the day here on Grandstand.
It is.
So many net cords.
And that ball actually hit the laptop of Will, and it's gone now because it has gone under the bench as well.
Yeah, I think Jack was trying to hit me with that one.
Yeah, we don't get the comfy indoor booth like the grandstand court, the stadium court does.
Of course.
So we're right on that sideline.
And the new ball not treating Yates Johnson too kindly. So that serve goes into the net.
And then
missed return as well.
Missed return as well. So that fresh ball can take a moment to adjust to. And again, that's the second time that Catherine has caught Rachel on the change of sides coming in. And that's great coverage from Rachel Rettger. Yates really committing to that Ernie on the court. But again, that's tough when you got two players that are ready for that ball. That open court is right behind her.
That's a nice return there from Johnson. Gets the two-handed backhand.
Yep.
Caught Sock trying to move around it and hit a forehand of his own, but just too deep in the court.
Absolutely.
Catherine Parenteau coming alive on that point.
Yeah. And I really like, you see it with Parenteau and Sock both, when they're counterattacking and attacking, they're getting up on top of the ball. And often we're seeing players, they're trying to attack by staying low. And when you're in those hand speed battles, you want to get high to cut it down to your opponent's feet rather than staying too low and keep hitting up on the ball. And it's a phenomenal drop shot from Yates. And Jack really didn't have any problem with it. He's still able to come into it well. And Rachel Rettger, great coverage. And then you're seeing Yates go hit that deep down the line return, which is very effective. That time, Jack had a little more time to move around and take that forehand. We all know he wants that forehand. And anything that Johnson and Rettger can do to basically get Jack to be hitting a backhand, that's going to be their goal.
That was a nice put away from Johnson. Looks like he had a chance to Ernie that, but went with the safer play and ended up paying off for them.
Yep, absolutely. He's got himself in a little trouble before, so he made the adjustment.
And a run here for Sock and Parenteau. So they make it 7-5.
You could just see Jack Sock
Serve to Johnson. Again, unwinding the stack. So I think that's the third time they've gotten, Parenteau and Sock have gotten a fourth ball miss off a drive.
Yeah, and they really are pinning a lot of balls on Catherine on that return. It's allowing for a few things. It's depending on the angle. So that one worked a little bit better because Catherine's coming from the left side of the court and Rachel's hitting it down the line, so she's got a little bit more time. But let's say a cross-court return to Catherine or something, that's going to limit their time a little more. And you can just kind of see the frustration on this side of the court. Again, 9-5 doesn't mean much. They're, or 5-9, I should say.
Just good hands there from Sock and Parenteau. Had a nice play from Rettger going across, taking the backhand.
And that's a tricky ball because you've got two players that are ready and they're steady. And so you really have to go for that open space. And if you're going to give up your court like that and poach, you've got to get a little bit more time. And she went right at Catherine Parenteau, and she was ready to double down on that.
We've got a game point here.
You could feel those wind gusts on those last couple of shots, and
just untimely.
It's just untimely. It's unfortunate, and that gives Parenteau and Sock the first game. And here we go.
Has turned into quite the warm day here.
Absolutely.
Just north of Atlanta. After the rain, especially, and on the court, we talked about it earlier.
I mean, that's not a bad rain delay. One of the best I've ever seen. That looks a little bit more like a point, like a structured point on both ends.
Felt like we didn't get a whole lot of dinking in that game one. We'll see if these teams slow it down here.
Now already we've seen 2 points, and Sock is kind of looking to speed up that low forehand. So he's getting a little more comfortable with his doubles game, and he's like, hey, we're a game ahead. Let's go for some stuff.
Loves that big wind-up on the forehand as well.
I mean, just a slap on that high ball.
It's just so tough playing against someone like Sock, because anytime the ball is, near his shoulder height, he's just going to be able to completely wind up and slap it like that.
Absolutely. It's tricky because in mixed doubles, really you want to play the whole court just like that. You want to play behind both players so that you're able to open it up a little bit better. And sometimes that's scary when you've got someone like Jack able to reach in. Then it's more likely Rettger's going to go cross court to Catherine, and which probably is not the best play. Just it's going to shrink that court way too much.
A couple really nice plays here from Parenteau, and that earlier points had a nice backhand to backhand hand speed battle against Johnson. She came out on top.
And that's the play that we've got to go for. You've got to play behind him a little bit. Rachel has not done that so far this match, but that is the first time, and it worked. So he was not expecting it.
Again, she was ready for that drive, speed up, whatever you want to call it there from Sock. Hard to execute when you're hitting it from below net level.
And that just the time, he took his time on that ball. And because we do expect that around the post to come back. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize all the time. It is going to come back most often. And you've got to be ready for the next one. I have no idea why he let that ball go. You can see, he said that, he's like, why? That didn't even go close to being out. That was 4 feet in, probably solidly.
The face he made said it all.
Yes. Well, there's the net love.
So much of that. I think both times it's been for Yates Johnson in this match.
So that's much better preparation from Rachel Rettger. She lost a few points doing that, and instead of just trying to get to that line really fast, she's actually decelerating a little bit. So it's setting her up in a better position to kind of block it and then actually move into counter. And right now it's 3-2, honestly. So, I mean, Rettger and Johnson are up right now. It doesn't feel like it, though. I will say that in this. It doesn't, the body language on the court, all those types of things, it just doesn't seem like that.
I think, to your point, Sarah, after a nice point there from Yates, they're just going to have to outdink them.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they did. Just waited for Parenteau to speed it up. Johnson was there for the counter.
Yep.
They get the air.
I think they're going to have a better game if they kind of let maybe Catherine and Jack set up some of those attacks so they can be in a counter-attack position. But same thing, she blocked that. Well, it's got to stay down, though. Those dinks and those drops have got to stay down. And it is getting windier. It's a tricky thing right now. And net love the other way, right into that. And look, our score has shifted, which the scoreboard does not seem correct right now.
4-3 now.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. The one on the court, the one on the stream is correct.
On the stream is correct, yes. The court one is a little bit off. Yeah, do you see Sock going off the court, moving around to take that as a forehand? He could now take that forehand around the post. He could take it cross court. He could take it down the middle. He could take it down the line. He just has so many options when he does that. Obviously, didn't work out for him in the point, but that is where that benefit comes from.
And that one stays in.
Rettger yelling no, and Yates listens. He lets it go. Sure enough. And she touched it, the ball was going out. But again, that's a well-played point now from Johnson and Rettger. They're setting up a little bit more, they're taking a little more time, and that's gonna give them more options.
We are having some longer rallies here in game 2 as players settle in. Just too much power there from Jack Sock as Yates Johnson heads that one over the net.
Kind of got sneaky with that little fadeaway. Why that shot was effective is the slow pace on it. Yates Johnson was looking for a ball that was a little faster, but Jack Sock taking that pace off forced that error. And he was covering his line absolutely perfectly on that one.
Looked like Rettger was going for that play where she had gone back behind him earlier, expecting him to try and poach that.
Yeah.
But Sock said, "Fool me once."
And again, another one of those just forehand rips from Jack Sock, and kind of Rachel's thinking it's going long, but suddenly now it's a very...
And what a lob there from Jack Sock. Yates Johnson tries to go for the tweener, but no good on that one. And what a point there. Sock goes for the lob. That one not quite staying in. Great hands from Johnson to respond to that attack from Parenteau to get the rally back to neutral. Let's see if Rettger and Johnson can go on a run here. Johnson had a look at that. And 2 points away here for the 12 seeds. just back is that return from Rettger. And match point here for Sock and Parenteau, looking to make the round of 16. And that one going to be just long. And Jack Sock, Catherine Parenteau booked their spot into Wednesday's action.